And here we are with part 2 of episode 46 of 84 Feet. I'm Brian Cady, and actually getting a chance to plan ahead, which is very weird for me this time of year because, with when we get past February 15th, I feel like I'm just going by the seat of my pants. There's no planning involved. We're just trying to watch results of games, and that impacts how I do my scheduling and all that stuff. But no, not today, because it is as we were recording this Thursday, February 20th. Can't count apparently. The day before sectional seating day, and when the coach of this team texts me in the morning and says, "Hey, can you do this?" 99.9% of the time, the answer is going to be yes. So we have two of the standouts from the Voorheesville Blackbirds. Yes, we're going to uh, roughly just outside of Altamont, I believe, is right nearby, if I remember my geography correctly. The two leading scorers of the team this year, we have junior Mia Carmody and freshman Lana. Oh God, I hope I don't butcher this. Orietas.
Yeah,
Were we right, or were you just saying yes to make me feel good?
it's like Orietas, but yeah, that's still right.
Orietas. Okay. All right. All right. Uh, Ladies, first of all, hello, welcome. How are you?
Good,
Good.
good.
Uh, First things first. Lana. I'm gonna try to guess this. It goes back to your name. I'm gonna guess this. So don't tell me. I'm gonna guess Greek.
Yeah, that's right.
Mm, all right, let's go. I remember. All right, good, good. I mean, it comes to territory I've only been announcing for like a decade, so I'm just, certain names just kind of, you know. All right, good. Uh, all right, so let's just start right off with talking about, how you got into basketball, basically. I'll start with me on this one. Like, was when you were growing up, going through, your time as a little one into grade school, like was basketball always number one, no doubt about it, or was it one of those things where you were playing anything you could get your hands on until you figured out basketball was a leading sport for you?
Yeah, actually, my first main sport was soccer. So I played club soccer before I played club basketball. And then I kind of got hurt, and I had to decide whether I wanted to play just basketball or just soccer throughout the entire year. And I decided to play basketball because I kind of had fallen in love with it through like my siblings playing and just playing with my family. So it's just kind of a thing that just fell into place at the right time.
And then Lana, was there any other sport that was competing with basketball at all for you, or was basketball your first and only love?
It was definitely my first love, but I also played soccer, but I stopped doing that in like third grade and started playing more basketball.
Was it more of a recreational thing for you compared to what Mia was doing originally?
Yeah, yeah.
So Mia, I'm just kind of curious. So you were in club. What was it? Alley Cats? Was it a different club? What were you working with?
Yeah, I played Alley Cats.
Okay, all right, cool, cool. Um, Now there is another sport though that I feel like has not been brought up by one of you. Do either one of you want to dive into that at all, or do I have to bring up the photographic evidence real quick?
Lana, you still play, so.
Yeah, I play golf as well.
I like to thank Mike Koff, my newspaper buddy, for I didn't go searching for this. Full admission, full admission. I did not go searching for this originally. I was simply doing a Google search from part of my show prep, and it came up in Google Images, and I had to do like a double and triple check to make sure that was really you. Uh, so what is this? What's with the who got you into golf, and is this something that you genuinely like? Obviously, that's from a school competition, by the way. That is from an actual tournament held, that Voorheesville was part of. Uh, like where did that come from?
So my grandparents play golf actually, and they got me introduced to it, and I started playing in fourth grade, and I just went to the driving range a lot, and then I got like good at it. So I just continued doing it and started playing for the school team.
Um, I'm assuming you've played on a number of different courses around the area, obviously. So, is there a particular course that's like a go-to for you as far as getting, trying to get a quick nine in, or like maybe you just like the views and the layout of it? Is there a particular course that pops out for you?
I was a member of Colony Country Club last year, and that's where we would practice for school because our coach worked there. So I would definitely that's my go-to spot because I love like their course.
Okay, all right. Have you played Albany Country at all?
Yeah, I have with my friend like 2 times, but not a lot.
Okay, all right, all right. I'm trying to remember. Albany's actually not too far from where you guys are, correct? The Albany Country Club, because that's like Altamont, Guilderland-ish, I think, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
Mhm.
Okay, all right. Um, Now as far as getting from there to AAU, I know Mia. You were in Vibes actually for a while, and now you're gonna be switching over to Havoc for your final AAU season. Before we talk anything about Havoc, just want to get your viewpoint of how long were you with Vibes, and just all in all what that experience was like.
I was with Vibes for a year. I would say it was a very good experience. I loved the coaches. I loved the environment. I loved the girls and everything like that. It was just kind of hard because I played up a year. So all those girls kind of graduated off. So it was hard kind of like fitting back in with another team. And then T-Flow came to Voorheesville. So it just kind of seemed right at the time to go to Havoc. But Vibes was a great experience. I loved it.
Who'd you deal with last year? Was that Tay, Eric Flutie? Who are we talking about here?
Flutie, he was my main coach. Tay would come into practices a lot too, though.
Okay. Yeah, Flutie. He's those of you who don't know, Eric Flutie, a guy that I love to make fun of for whatever reason. Is he easy to make fun of? Because he's just a big teddy bear. Like he's not you look at him, you're like, oh, don't want to mess with that guy. But then you talk to him, and it's like, oh, he's nice. He's a softie. He's nice. Is that how it was for you guys too on Vibes? Just hard to dislike him.
Yeah, absolutely. He made it so fun too to just go out there and play. He was obviously hard on us and made us work, but I think it was just a great he is a fun guy. Yeah.
And shout out to Eric, him and head coach Michael Branch are taking Sage to the Empire 8 Championship tournament coming up. By the time this comes out, I think it'll be this week, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I'm focusing too much on high school to bother keeping track of the D3 championship tournaments. But as far as you're concerned, Lana, this is going to be, if I remember correctly, what, year 3 for you coming up with Havoc?
Yeah.
Okay. What attracted you to Havoc to begin with? Because I know that usually, I think Havoc starts with 4th, 5th grade, if I remember correctly. And so from the sounds of it, you joined like in 7th grade. What eventually brought you in with Havoc?
So my friend introduced me to buckets, and that introduced me to Terrence. So he obviously convinced my parents about Havoc and how good it was and how it like develops you as a player. So I ended up doing that in 7th grade. And then I just continued after that because I grew so much after 7th grade, my first year with Havoc. So I just continued with Havoc and I've been loving it.
Now, for those of you who don't know, Buckets Performance Center, that is in the general vicinity of my old stomping grounds. I born and raised in Albany for the first 30-ish years of my life, right there off of Fuller Road on Railroad Avenue in Albany. Well, Albany Colony-ish, right on the border, basically. How much of an advantage do you feel like it is for you ladies? Well, particularly Lana, because you've been with Havoc the last few years, to like have access to something like that where it's not like a coach has to like go out of their way and try to scramble to find a gym, that you can have a facility right there to go to without having to, worry about whatever coach you work with having a headache trying to figure out, logistics or anything like that. You can just go right there and boom, knock everything out.
Yeah, it's very convenient because it's also close to where I live, and I love the shooting machines, which we use a lot, and then the weight room, which is very good for lifting.
I'm trying to remember. Was Kyra Ofler like doing the strength and conditioning with you guys last year?
Yeah, so we would have practices 2 days a week, and then we would do strength and conditioning the other 2 days we didn't have like practice.
Kyra Ofler, another Sage shout out, former Heatley. I think she went to Heatley if I remember correctly. Then played at Sage, and now she's doing her thing. Now I'm trying to remember, Lana. So your team, I'm trying to pull up here because this newly improved Buckets Performance Center website has all the fancy Havoc rosters listed on it for the coming year. So Lana 2020. All right. So your squad, first off, Coach Delisle. Has that been your coach the whole time there? And what's he been like in your experiences with Havoc so far?
Well, he hasn't coached me. Like, this is my first year as him being my coach. So I don't know him like as well, but I know he's very like intense and he's a good coach. So I'm looking forward to how he coaches me this year.
And he's got one daughter at Hartwick now as a freshman. One's at SUNY Niagara. Yeah, that sounds right. Who coached you your first 2 years at Havoc?
So my 7th grade year, Eric Cavill coached me, and then my second year, Shields coached me.
Oh, that's a hell of a lineup to have there. Eric, I mean he's well known throughout Section 2, and he's got Jace playing her freshman year at Shaker now, and Shields. If I feel like if you've been around AAU and you don't know Jim Shields, you don't know Capital Region AAU. So I mean that you can't go wrong with that. Mia, you're gonna be I'm for whatever reason you're not on this site yet, so I'm gonna go shame on T-Flow on that one. But whatever, it's neither here nor there. Do you know what team you're gonna be assigned to yet? As far as because there's only 2 or 3 2026 teams I know of.
I'm pretty sure it's the gray team. I know I'm playing with Ariana Brandon from Shalmont.
Yep.
And I'm pretty sure that is the gray team.
Yep. All right. So Ari, you got a pair of Boston Spa girls in there: Aubrey Kramer, Chloe Waite, and then Shay Kelly from Averill Park. All right. All right. All right. Obviously, no stranger to Ari, having played her a few times during each school year the last few years. What do you make of Ari? Is it gonna be nice to actually share a bench instead of having to stand across from her for a change?
Oh, absolutely. We actually played AAU with each other a few years ago now on the Capitals, and I think we had a connection right from the beginning, and we've been friends ever since. So it's been nice competing with her, but I think getting back on the court with her, especially AAU style, will be fun.
And then Lana, let me get back to your roster now. Scroll. It's a very eclectic roster so far. There's only 5 players listed on it right now, but Ari Lampedusa, Gabby Telesco, Maddie Brennan, Sabrina Tiberi. Is that a crew you've been running with the last couple years?
Yeah,
Just like the core 5, basically?
Yeah, so last year, Gabby Telesco joined Havoc for her first year, but I've been with Ari, Sabrina, and also Maddie. Maddie Brennan joined last year as well. So I've been with Ari and Sabrina for a while now.
Okay. I'm trying to remember Gabby Huzak school, if I remember correctly. Is that right? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Cool. Now let's see here. What else? Oh, I mean, we've referenced him. I might as well bring it up. I mean, Lana, you've had a prior relationship with T-Flow before he signed on the dotted line to come to Voorheesville. So I'll start with you on this one quick. How did you did you know there were talks going on at all, or was it just something where T-Flow agreed to come aboard, and he was just like, oh, by the way, hi, I'm your new school coach. Like, how did that all work out with you guys?
There was definitely talks about it because I know a bunch of the parents that are parents of girls that go to Voorheesville wanted him to be the coach because we have like 4 other girls that play Havoc that go to Voorheesville. So there was definitely like the word going around that he was going to be the coach.
And then Mia, I mean, you were obviously a returning product of the system that was in place prior to Mr. Florence. I'm sure he'd smack me for saying Mr. Florence, but whatever. What 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 was? I mean, I'm assuming you heard the whispers as well about what was going on before everything went down.
Yeah, I heard a little bit, not a lot. I think it was just kind of we were looking for someone to just get in really. It was getting close to like starting open gyms and everything, and we knew this team this year we had could be something special, and I think with T-Flow coming in, we were all kind of getting excited cuz word coming around that a good coach would come in and kind of develop us all. It was very exciting, but I think it was maybe after I went to one of the Havoc evaluations and afterwards, I think it might have been Lana who was talking to me about it, and I just found out, and I was kind of getting excited.
Now, how long have both of you been on varsity for?
I've been on varsity since 8th grade, so this is my 4th year.
Okay.
And this is my first year on varsity.
Okay. All right. Um, Ali, I'll start with me on this one because like I have a particular question in my head. I'll start with me on it though. Was there any? I mean, I'm assuming you've at least seen T Flow or heard about him or whatever before any of this rumor conjecture was out there about him becoming Voorheesville head coach. Um, was there a certain expectation that you had in your head of what it would be like with him coming in? Like, what was your thoughts when you heard that it was official and he was coming on board?
I didn't really have any expectations. I mean, I knew obviously he'd come in and bring basketball knowledge and just basic skills and drills that are needed to develop players. So I think it was just kind of being excited for that element of it, but I didn't really have any expectations except I knew that he was going to be a good coach and bring in the developments that we needed.
And then, Lana, you had a obviously as we've laid out prior relationship, um, being part of the school system, and then knowing, how T Flow. I mean, obviously, he hasn't coached you on a team, but I mean, obviously, you see things, you observe, you hear. Uh, so when that became official, like, how much did you realize? Because to me, it sounds like it's pretty much night and day compared to what things were before T Flow arrived to what's going on now. You know, did you have to like kind of mentally prepare yourself for like, oh God, it's gonna be 5 months of this? Like, was it anything like that, or was it almost kind of like a sigh of relief where you're like, okay, now we can, now we're serious, now we can dive in.
It was definitely a little bit of both. I was like nervous at first, but I also was very like excited because I knew he was going to be a good coach and he would turn us into like the team that we are now.
I don't know what's crazier, him running a workout at 5 a.m. and then trying to go work out himself at 7, or the fact that he has you guys come in for a workout at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. What's crazier, him trying to run a practice, then go do a workout, or the fact he has y'all showing up at the gym at 6 in the morning?
I don't know. Sometimes he works out before our 5 a.m. practices too, so that's even crazier to me. But
that's wild. Now that's ridiculous. Who goes to the gym at 3:30 in the morning? No. I mean, this is also a guy that probably hasn't seen the inside of a gym in 15 years, but that's whatever. Yes, I am very much making fun of myself there. It's okay to laugh, not a big deal. So I mean, so when it comes to, I'd assume that because I think Mia mentioned this. It was a very short time where you're kind of like, okay, what's going on? What's going on? What's going on? And then all of a sudden you know, Tiflo gets the job, and then it's like, all right, you got to jump right into, the preseason workouts and open gyms and all that. Um, what was the level of expectations like that were being laid out day one for particularly you, Mia, because you're a 4-year varsity player now. You're obviously being looked to help, be one of the leaders on the floor. What was that level of expectation like that he was setting for you day one when he walked in the door?
I think energy and leadership, that was the big thing. We didn't have a lot of leadership the past couple years, and I think he was looking for that leadership and energy to help the younger girls because we don't have a huge amount of numbers at Voorheesville. So with the younger girls coming up and playing varsity and needing to be key roles on the team, him telling me the energy and leadership that was needed was the main thing, I think.
Now, Lana, one of the very intriguing things about Voorheesville is being a Class B school, but you're pretty much playing A's and double A's all year because of the fact you're in Colonial Council. Um, just to rattle off some of the schools we're talking about here. Catholic Central, defending Class A champions, now in double A for the first time this year. Academy, Albany Academy, Chalmont, Holy Names, all A schools. Troy's a double A. LaSalle's a B with you as well. Ichabod's an A. Mohan's a double A? Double A? Yeah, double A. RCS, Coast. I mean, there's really not a whole lot of breaks in the schedule, so to speak, because usually there's like 2 or 3 good to really good schools, and the rest are kind of meh. There's no rest in the Colonial Council. Like, how much do you feel like going through that kind of schedule and that kind of conference uh, could potentially be an advantage for you guys when you do get into sectionals in the coming week?
Yeah. I think it
Yeah.
I think it brings so much diversity on our plates every single game. Like I think if we come with low energy one game, we can get beat. And I think we saw that very early on in the season. We lost some games we definitely shouldn't have. And I think just learning those lessons throughout is helping us. And it's really just a good thing, I think, playing those bigger schools because it helps going into sectionals knowing the different things that can happen and how we can develop and grow from them.
I'm going to go to Lana for this one because I think it's a little bit of a bold question, but I'm going to ask it anyways. Do you feel like, in a way, your team's been kind of dismissed from conversations a little bit this season? Just because I feel like unless you are on the inside, like I am, seeing T-Flow do his crazy 5:30 in the morning or Instagram posts from the gym, psycho. Um, but unless you understand the vast change of culture that has just happened, you just see the name Voorheesville and go, eh. I mean, have you experienced that at all? Heard that at all? And do you feel like there's still that mentality out there a little bit where people are assuming one thing out of a Voorheesville team, and then you walk in the gym, they go, oh, okay, all right, let's go.
Yeah, I definitely think that is like how like there's still like a little of that because of like varsity's history and like we weren't as good last year. But now I definitely think people like think that we're like a little like better, but also like I think when they hear like Voorheesville, it comes to their mind like, oh, like
whoever wants to answer this one, go ahead. What do you guys think? I mean, obviously, I'm not going to ask you what seed you're going to be. That's just completely wilding out. I'm not going to do that. Where do you think you guys stand in the grand scheme of things? Because I'm sure you guys have looked at who you're going to potentially be standing across from in the Class B sectionals. Is there any school in particular that you maybe want to face, would like to face? You think would be an intriguing matchup potentially down the road? Um, or you guys just completely keeping an open mind, just like whatever, put whoever in front of us, and we'll go out there and look to crush.
I think it's definitely a complete open mind. Obviously, the teams in Class B are great. They're talented, have talented players. But I think every day that we go out and compete at the level we can compete, there'll be good games. And I think that's kind of what we're looking for, to go out and just compete and play good games.
Now I mentioned how in Class B there is one other school, a school you're both relatively familiar with that's going to be in the bracket with you, and that's going to be LaSalle, a squad you guys have faced I think only once this year if I remember correctly. Um, it was an early season victory before Christmas, but Lon, I'll let you jump in on this. What is it about LaSalle that could potentially make them a challenge, maybe not necessarily to you guys, but just in general in the Class B bracket? Because I feel like, again, it's one of those things where, you know, they play 6 times against Holy Names and Academy and Catholic Central, so people are probably going to look at the record and be like, oh, whatever. But if they dive into the schedule and understand, you know, a lot like you guys, like if you dive into the schedule, then you understand a little better. Oh, okay. All right. We've got to put some respect on their name. What makes them a difficult matchup potentially?
I definitely saw how they played Holy Names a bunch of times and they won against them the other last week or something. But I know Kate Galuli, we played them before, and she was definitely their main player and scorer. So I think we have to lock down on that and make sure that we're having good defense and making sure that she doesn't score a lot, because I know she scored 45 points against Holy Names or something. So we definitely can't let that happen.
All right. Senior class. There's 4 of them. There's Ava Tabakian, Lula Hershkowitz, Alexa Voland, Hannah Woodworth. Um, I'll start with me on this one. What has that senior class meant to you? Because obviously you've been playing directly under them, coming through the system and everything. What has that senior class meant to you? And is there a particular senior that you're going to be missing time with once they move on?
Oh, absolutely. They're all so special to me. I've been playing with them for a long time. I would say Hannah specifically. We've been playing together for 9 years straight. I mean, our first years of basketball, like CYO, we've been playing together. So 9 consecutive years we've been playing together, and this is our last year. It's definitely bittersweet. They all bring so much to the team too. It'll be hard losing all of them. So much energy and just emphasis on the details, leadership, and just so much. They're definitely an important group of girls.
And then Lana, I mean, obviously you have a little different perspective being a freshman and this being your first year on varsity. But what's your experience been like with the girls this year in your first year at varsity, and just in general, what has that class meant to you?
I really love them. They definitely bring a lot high energy in the gym, especially during practices. I'm gonna miss all them. Even though I haven't played with them for a lot, this is my first year playing with them, but I've enjoyed it a lot, and I'm gonna, yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna wrap this up with a grouping of questions. They're called Life's Most Important Questions, but like I said before we started recording, by no means am I asking life-altering, hard questions at all. We're not going to ask you to figure out E equals MC squared, none of that stuff. It's nice and easy, quick hitting. Whatever answer pops in your head, just rattle it off. For these, we'll go with Lana answering first, and then Mia, you can follow up with your answers. Are y'all ready for this?
Yeah.
I promise. Again, they're not hard.
Whoa.
There's no need to panic. All right. They're foolish questions. All right. All right, number one. Uh, are we all team iPhone here, or are we any of us prefer Androids at this point?
I think we're all team iPhone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Does the green bubble still freak you out at all?
Definitely. Like, I hate the green bubble.
What's the green bubble?
Like, you know when they send a text?
Oh.
If they have a Samsung?
Oh, that's a.
I hate it. I only like the blue.
I don't necessarily hate it, but I definitely start judging. Like,
Yeah.
like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing on a Google phone or a Samsung phone? Let's be real here. Come on, you're with the inferior product. Let's be real. When it comes to energy drinks, we prefer in Gatorade, Powerade, Celsius. What was the brand that somebody taught me recently? Alani, I think, is the somebody taught me about. What are we looking at here?
Both Celsius and Alani. Everyone's always drinking them.
What is with Alani? That's been like the consistent answer I've been getting the last like month of doing these interviews.
I don't know. It just came after Celsius, and it's just it's good, I guess.
All right, Mia, how about you?
I'm Powerade and Celsius.
Powerade, really over Gatorade?
Yeah.
I'm Gatorade. What? I like
Wow.
Gatorade better.
Okay, wow, shade on Gatorade. All right. Is there a particular flavor you'll prefer with your Powerade?
Yeah, the blue flavor. I have one for every.
And you like the oh.
Blue's definitely.
Oh man. Now I'm gonna start judging you more so than the Android users. I don't know about that. Blue Powerade. Wow, that's some savage stuff right there. When you guys are first off, does T-Flow allow music during practice?
Well, we've been using it this week.
Well, it's a vacation. It's a vacation week. I'm talking like a regular practice.
No, we usually don't. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think it depended on the practice, though. I think his big thing, I think he said this in the beginning of the year, was if we brought the energy and we were ready for practice and doing the things we needed to, then we had music. But I think mid-season we kind of forgot about it because we were so focused on everything else and running through the plays that it wasn't really the top of our concerns.
Okay. All right. So we're going to go hypothetical here with this. Actually, no, because I'm sure somebody does a pregame playlist for you guys for warm-ups at home. Let's say you're putting somebody in charge of a playlist for that. Who's the last person you are trusting to set up that playlist?
I think it's me. I think the team would all say me.
Yeah.
But I'd put myself at the top of the list.
Why?
She has weird music taste.
I get pumped up to slow jams, so no one really likes that.
Whoa. Hold on. Let's define slow jams here for a second.
I'm a huge fan of the Beatles. They're one of my top artists. So music like that, it kind of gets me ready. So
You know who you would be really good friends with then musically? You and Peyton Hoblock should do some talking.
me and Peyton Hoblock are best friends, actually. Yeah.
There we go. All right. That's perfect. Y'all were meant for each other musically. That's great. Two foolish food questions, quick. Number one, is a hot dog a sandwich?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
What goes in first, the cereal or the milk?
Cereal.
Milk.
Actually.
Oh my God. Okay. You are the first person in the history of this show to say the milk. Why?
Because I don't like my cereal to be soggy, so I need to make sure
It's
there's
going to be soggy either way.
If you leave it out for like 10 minutes, it will be. But if you eat it like right away, then it won't.
Oh man. Oh. Okay, I'm gonna breathe. I'm gonna breathe here for a second. Okay. Okay. If you could steal a skill and make it yours from either a teammate or an opponent that you're a fangirl of, what's that skill and who is it from? Like, kind of think of it like Space Jam, like the old Space Jam where they had all the skills, the different players and the ball, and like kind of think of it that way. It could even be just like somebody's height or somebody's speed or something like that if you want.
I would take Ava and Maddie, the Tabakian sisters on our team's speed. They're fast, defensively, offensively, all around the floor.
Yeah, I would say the same thing, and I also would take Mia's like shot because she's good at shooting. So
Thank you.
Aw, that was nice. That was very well done. Um. Oh. Um. Favorite cheat meal when you have an off season, which sounds like you have like maybe 2 months of an off season at this point. But what's your favorite cheat meal? Or like a victory meal, like after a dub, you're like, you know what? I deserve this. What is that?
oh, cheeseburger.
Anywhere particular?
No. Well, actually, I don't know. Anywhere.
Well, we're not talking, but we're not talking like those little like half-inch thick ones from like a McDonald's or anything.
No.
We're talking like a legit like.
Yeah,
Okay, all right,
a
all right.
tavern maybe.
Like what?
A tavern.
Okay, all right. Mia, where are you gonna go with this?
I would say probably a chocolate donut.
Well, like the actual donut itself, chocolate, or like a chocolate like frosted donut.
Like an actual chocolate donut, yeah. Not
Okay.
frosted.
All right, all right, all right. Oh, Dunkin' or Starbucks?
Starbucks.
Neither.
Not a coffee person at all.
I don't like coffee.
When you go to Starbucks, is it a coffee drink, or are you like one of those pink drink girls?
Definitely a strawberry acai refresher.
Close enough. Close enough. All right. All right. Last one for these fast break questions. That should be the name of this segment. The fast. Okay. Thinking of ideas on the fly here. You're stranded on a deserted island, and you need to get off that island to get back to civilization. Two people that you know that you would pick to help you get off that island. Who are they? Could be family, friends, teammates, but you have to know them. Like, don't pick Barack Obama or Steve Irwin or something like that. Like, don't know.
Probably my dad and my uncle.
Any particular reason?
Well, my dad's like good. He's smart at like building stuff, so that would maybe help. And my uncle's just good with numbers, so I don't know.
Okay. That both of those are definitely helpful skills. Mia, what about you?
I would say my siblings, my two older siblings.
Oh, please do discuss that. Like, did they play basketball too when you were growing up?
My sister played basketball. My brother, no, he didn't. He played soccer. He plays soccer and lacrosse, but my sister did play basketball.
Oh, good. He plays the two sports where you can get out your aggression the most, except for hockey. That's good. That's
Yeah.
real good. Did he do a lot of crying when he got tackled on the soccer pitch?
No.
Fake crying, I should say. That's not real crying. That's fake crying.
No.
Okay, good. So he wasn't one of those guys that got tripped, go on the ground, go, ah, none of that.
No.
Okay. Yeah, but no offense to soccer players, because you were one, but I'm sorry. It's almost like they're trying to get an Academy Award sometimes. It just is what it is. All right, so hold on. There's a follow-up there, and then I do have one more question for you, Mia, as well. But the follow-up to this is, so the older sister, was she a pain in the behind growing up? Like, did she, or like, was she nice about you trying to play ball, or was she just one that refused to bend it all with you, like refused to let you win or score or anything like that?
Oh, she was nice to me, I think, but I think she was also really hard on me. But we played together for a couple of years at Voorheesville, and I think she was definitely harder on me during those practices.
Okay. Last question. And actually, Lana can chime in on this after I get your initial answer, Mia. You have been dealing with some injury issues on and off throughout the last 4-5 months, I think it's been. Just kind of, and it's all been basically regarding the same issue, right?
Yeah.
So just walk us through like the original injury, what happened, and what's been like kind of the issues since then.
I had an avulsion fracture in my foot, and I came down on it in one of our games at home, like I would say a little over a month ago now. And it was definitely, I came down on it and was immediately swollen and bruised that night. And I kind of just had to register it at first. And I was like, okay. And then I went to the doctor. It was an avulsion fracture. And it was a lot to process at once because they were like a boot for 2 weeks. It was just a lot. But then I came in, and our trainer, CJ, he's been great, amazing. He told me to just treat it like a sprain because it wasn't a bad avulsion fracture. So I've just been kind of treating it ever since. And then I kind of re-rolled it in one of our games, and the pain got worse. So I sat out for another week. So it's just been kind of very up and down. And obviously, I'm just, these practices this week, I'm just starting to get back into it and kind of building that strength again.
Um, is it something that's going to require more attention once you get through sectionals and the postseason, or is this something where you can keep doing resting and rehab for it?
I think it'll definitely require a lot of rest after. I think I'm going to need to, after sectionals, obviously, I think I'm going to need to definitely lay low for at least another week and not be on it because of the pain it's still occurring when I'm playing and everything. But I think I'll definitely continue rehab and hopefully it gets better.
That's easier said than done, obviously, as a high school student, because it's not like you can hoverboard from class to class. Yeah, you got to walk. So yeah. Lana, just your input on it. Obviously, you're not a doctor. I'm not gonna ask for your input on the injury, but like that's a big piece to lose for games during the season. You know, you two are the leading scorers on the team, so like you lose one, it's like, oh damn, oh damn. Uh, so like, what was that like having to navigate through some of those games without Mia being on the court?
I think we struggled a little bit, definitely on our shots because Mia's like our top like 3-point shooter. So when our shots aren't hitting, it affects us a lot. But we pulled through, and in our last games we tried our best without Mia, and we made it happen.
Okay. I didn't really want to end on a down note, but I saw it in my notes as I was doing the questions, and my bad. Wasn't my intention, but so with that being said, here's to this is water, by the way. Here's to health. So get better. Don't don't get rushed. Listen to your body, do your thing. And yeah, Mia Carmody, Lana Orietas, good luck coming up in sectionals, and I'll knock on my little wood table here. Maybe I'll get to announce for you guys at Hudson Valley in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
All right. Well, go. I know you got practice coming up, so enjoy practice. Enjoy practice, and good luck. I'll see you guys soon. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, no problem. Mia Carmody, Lana Orietas from Voorheesville High School. Yeah, yeah. The great girls, and thanks to Terrence Florence for setting that up. I know we've been calling him Tifo a lot, so I figured I'd put his actual name out there. So thanks to him for helping get that set up. And yeah, like I said, this is Thursday, February 20th, day before sectional seedings come out. So, you know, uh, that's why we were for a minute there. We were kind of beating around the bush about Class B and all that. But so yeah, that's that, and that wraps up part 2 of episode 46 of 84 Feet with Cady and Cap. Don't forget at 84 Feet Podcast on X, Twitter, whatever you still call it. Facebook, just search for 84 Feet with Cady and Cap. If you're listening to us on Spotify, we thank you very much. Feel free to follow the channel on Spotify. Leave us a review, 5 stars, preferable, obviously. YouTube, like the video, comment on it, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell so you know when a new episode or random interview from a gymnasium near you is uploaded to the channel. That all being said, this is coming out during the opening week of sectionals. So best of luck to all teams involved, and we'll catch you next week to break down all of the quarterfinal action. Oh yeah, quarterfinals going down. We'll break it all down next week. So yeah, we'll catch you there later.